I want people to listen to what I am saying while taking deep breaths. I feel like this may or may not be some kind of hot take, and I don't want y'all standing you to discredit my words. I come in peace. Some of y'all are whiling about Gundo's return to Manchester City. Massive talent, yes. And what he's meant to the past of the club, huge. I'm not trying to take away from what he's done, like ever. And I know that always sounds awful right before there's like a but. People think adding Gundo is the difference in City winning or losing the Premier League. Or now that Gundo's back, City had the roster depth for Pep to finally take the I don't care about cup seriously. Supporters and media are so gung-ho on Gundo. Even Pep had to find his own way to tell them to chill the fuck out, my G's. Here's Pep's response about being asked if Gundo would be taking over the captain because he brings something different, something missing from the squad.
No, everyone is everyone. For example, Kevin is an excellent leader. Don't talk much before the game, or the halftime, or during the day, but he's an incredible leader and express, proving, But one of the most influential players ever in this is Kevin, and it's definitely leadership. So
Kovacic showed last week that we have no need for the quote Rodri replacement unquote. Here's Pep's response to a question about Gundo filling in for Rodri.
What I said can play in the position Rodri, like Kova, like Nico, like maybe Mateus alongside someone else. John and Manu can play alongside another one in the position Rodri, and Gundo can play for attacking midfield. There is a guy close the box is good, can play with a false nine.
Pep came at him with what I said was Nico, Matteo, John, Manu can all play the Rodri position with someone with him. There is no need to force Gundo into every position the royal we believe is a weakness in the depth chart, which brought me to this question from my esteemed show bros. Deadline day for the transfer window is 5 days away. 4 by the time the listeners are getting to this episode. Are you happy with the roster? Do you hope to wake up to another player announcement post sometime this week? I ask you this. Who wants to get in here? Sharpie?
I'm at like a 9.5 out of 10 with this roster. The only 0.5 is just getting another dedicated striker would be a bonus. But I feel like we have depth everywhere. So I'm great with it. Who else has a thought?
I mean, I already thought we was winning the league without Gundo. So, I mean, this was just a nice little bonus, like gets you in the nostalgia feels, like right here, and like yes, like all of that. Like so, no, I don't need it. Particularly if the acquisition of whatever player, whoever that is going to cut off. And I know that Tarik talks about this all the time. Like, I don't want to cut off a young player's development on the growth. So I'm good. Like, I'm good with this roster.
All right. Lando?
I love the addition of a treble-winning captain that is very familiar with what we've done, and the comfort in knowing that bringing a guy like Gundogan in that can play several different roles warms me up to the idea that we will not be active for the rest of the window and try to get a backup striker. If we love our Erling Braut Haaland and appreciate everything that he's done for us so far, we can also kind of come to terms with the fact that history would show us he's not going to play a whole full season. There would be a potential missing of games. And in that situation, I'm going to go with what history has shown us in preseason when we've seen a lot of tale of two halves, one with a Haaland focused, get it in the middle, and another of a false nine. Let's get some action with, like Tom said, a McAtee and different players in that role. So that's what we can anticipate. If we don't get another 9 in there, and if that's the case, the Gundogan signing is that much more important because of the utility and the different the style that he brings. So we'll see, but I'm okay with it. I rate it like Charlie, 9.5. I'm okay with us not doing anything, but we have to be prepared with what the circumstances are moving forward.
Guys, I got it. I fucking got it. You remember last year how we would get frustrated when Alvarez was in the pockets because it's not his natural position, but he was trying to do that role. We already have the guy. His name is Philip Walter Foden. You put Phil at false nine, which he's done before. He's a maestro in the middle. You give him Doku, Savinho, Grealish. Give him wingers who can go. Bob, when he comes back second half of the season, that's your perfect sub right there. So, like, let's say you want to have, the OGs, as I call them, the midfield, Bernardo, Gundo, Kev. You still can have Phil on the pitch plus the wingers. We're unstoppable. Like, yes. I think I'm at a 10 now. I'm at a 10. I talked myself into it. We're great. We're fucking awesome.
But is that a transfer rating if a player just existed already on the roster?
No need. I don't think we need anything else. Like, nobody else needs to come in. We just rotate the guys we got and we go, everybody balls.
Love it.
I am so contrary to your comments, Crunk, I am very much pro the Gundo signing. Not to say that you weren't pro the Gundo signing, but just how big I think of a difference it makes, because we were not comfortable last year with Rodri not on the pitch. We've seen Kova grow into his role, which again, first year at City, now going into his second year, there's always some improvement, always that initial adjustment. So we are seeing him, and we saw him really start to thrive, and then we saw him get hurt. I think there is no perfect replacement for Rodri, but to bring in a Gundo who can do that role, but can also do the KDB role, but can also potentially do any other role that you throw out there, with the exception of one of those center backs or the back line. I think having that additional depth is crucial, because I just don't see Rodri playing every single match night in, night out anymore.
So
and
you're saying you now care about the cup?
No, I don't care about the cup.
Why
do I care about the cup? Well, that doesn't mean nothing.
Now we
think
we can win anything now. Anything's
possible. I think having Gundo just makes our depth that much more. We have that much more depth. We're just that much more complete as a squad. But I mean, we could have won the Carabao before. I don't really care if we win it. I mean, I think, quite honestly, we could, with this lineup, we could win every single trophy. And we might say that anyway, but I genuinely think there is a legitimate chance that we could win every trophy available to us with this squad. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't say we will. Doesn't say that we will, but I think that there is no reason why we couldn't. Again, last year we lost Holland for a big period. We lost KDB for a big period, and other people stepped up, but we were only able to pull out that one trophy. I think adding Savio to that mix, adding Gundo to that mix, and I think those two is enough. If we go get a backup, a striker who's willing to play that backup role, knowing that Holland is the man, he's going to play almost all the minutes, but you will be ready when your number gets called. If we do that, then it's 10 out of 10, perfect summer transfer window. But I think even without that additional striker, I think we are in a really good spot for to get back to multiple major trophies. And I know, Tom, you said, well, you know how I talked about even when Gundo got ready to leave. I will be the first to say that I was kind of okay with him leaving because of what I thought that was going to open the door for, which was the Jude Bellingham. If you would have told me we're not going to get Jude, I would have said just leave Gundo where he is. But it was with the eye towards, hey, we could bring in a Jude Bellingham, and you don't trade that up. You don't give up that opportunity to keep Gundo in that scenario. But didn't happen. Bringing him back is, to me, the perfect scenario. So I'm glad to see him back. Is it overstated to a certain extent? Maybe. But I also think it's overstated on the other side, too, where people are kind of disrespecting the move because he did leave or because he was here before or whatever. And I think he still has a lot to offer, which we saw in we could see in the stats from his last season in La Liga. I think he created the most goal scoring opportunities in the entire league.
Correct.
He's not coming back here as some washed player. He's still got a lot to give. And the fact that it's a 1+ type of a contract, I think is perfect. There will come a point in time where we'll have to move on from the people like a Gundo, like a KDB, but that day is not today.
Let's go. We making art over here. Capitalize that.
I hate the most is when you don't want the ball. I hate it. You have permission to make a mistake. You have permission to lose. You have permission.
And that's when we get big.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Attack everyone and send everyone.
I think we're forgetting the most important thing. We're forgetting about focusing just on ourselves.
But we can do better. We need to take the next step, and there's no better place than taking the next step here.
Show ourselves out there how much we want to win it again.
We win 4 of the last 5 Premier League, guys. 4 of the last 5 Premier League. Are we going to do it again?
Don't ask me again about doubles, triples, quadruples, fifth-tuples, six-tuples, and seven-tuples. So,
Don't do it. Hey, I'm Crunk Chocolate, and this is episode 106 of Shades of Blue.
World's famous.
We are the most comprehensive show about Manchester City, covering both the men's and women's games, spanning both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. We making art over here. Capitalize the A. Now this is where I say my name. I got myself confused. I am Crunk Chocolate. I am with my show bros, Thom Bomb, Lando, Tarik, and Sharpie Charlie. What's up, my guys? We got to get this energy up. I know everybody got here late, and so the energy's down. Thom Bomb's team lost. I don't care about that stuff.
Hey, bro, everybody's here. When's the last time we were all together?
I know.
Together, right? They didn't just lose; they got their ass beat. Like, but as my papa used to say, like a good ass whooping will get your attention every time.
You got mine growing up, that's for sure.
Oh man, how we doing? Tarik, you busy dad duties this weekend?
Actually, this weekend has been crazy.
Or work?
Yeah, I was at a work conference. Actually, I think I told you guys this. There's a City fan who worked for the company before I started. And so this was my first time because he works remote fully. And we're kind of one of those hybrid companies. We're in the office two days a week or whatever. So I had never met him in person, but we met in person. We're able to chop it up about City quite a bit during this, while we were at this work conference. So he made a comment. He was like, "So when you gonna have me on your podcast?" He's got this really strong Jamaican accent. So I won't even try to do it. But he was like, "When you gonna have me on your podcast? Because I got these hot takes I'm ready to drop, whatever." I was like, "I'm gonna have you on." So it was cool, man. It was a good time. But yeah, it was just busy. I was actually right before this, I was on with LB again. So it's been a long day, man. But I'm excited to be back with you guys because, again, like Charlie said, it's been a long time since I looked at the screen and all 5 of us was in, up there. So it's cool to be back, man. Cool to be back.
So you saying you a little tired of talking city? Is that what's going on, Tarik?
No. I'm tired of hearing my own voice though.
Tarik's ready to listen about City now. He wants to hear things
and object when people say stuff like Gundo isn't the best thing since sliced bread.
Hey, that is not what I said, but also
I understand.
Oh man, I got to make people feel away with my words this season. I mean, I feel like I've done that before, but I'm really trying.
That ain't nothing new to you. That ain't nothing new to
you. But I'm really going for it this season. Oh, but before we get into anything at all, what I need you to do right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for us, show some love, leave a comment on what you thought of the episode. Maybe a retort to something one of us said. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, any of those podcast streaming services that allows you to rate, please give us those 5 stars. And also a review. It just helps, algorithming, building us, putting us in front of other citizens, football fans. We out here. Man, in today's episode, we're going to talk a wonderful 4-1 win against Ipswich. I want to get Tarik and Thom Bomb's predictions and thoughts on who's going to be key players and most improved players from City since they weren't here with us last week. And then we will end on the upcoming match, the last match before already an international break. We just started, bro. West Ham. Bubbles all around. London Stadium. Exciting things.
Shout out to the homie Phil.
Yes, who I will be having on for Breaking Bread on Wednesday. So, yes, wasn't able to get anything figured out with Ipswich people, but I now have multiple. So this mistake will not happen again. I am sorry I failed you, Shady Gang. Okay. Let's get to Ipswich, shall we? During many questions about Gundo, one of Pep's answers gave me a chuckle. Bro is still making weight jokes.
I spoke with Lauren and said, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Medical test was brilliant and he's skinny.
And when he said it, he did a finger. He's like, and he's skinny. It's like, Pep, you were a fool. I love him so
Hey,
much.
That's important. You got to be in shape, man.
We know it is, but he just doesn't need to say it.
It ruined Calvin Phillips. So
sorry for you, Cal. Not ready for it.
Positive thing though. So I guess it's only bad if it's the opposite. He showed up skinny, so he's good.
He's in shape. He's ready. He's a baller.
He came. Hey, smart. Came in shape. Smart man. Okay. Starting 11 was the same as last week, which was the first time in 87 matches Pep has ran back the same starting lineup. March 2022 versus Crystal Palace. It was the last time Manchester City as a club used the same lineup twice at the beginning of a season since the 2007-2008 season. Ooh. Starting 11 for Manchester City was Ederson, Lewis, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiol, Kovacic, Silva, KDB, Daku, Savio, and Haaland up top. Was seeing the same lineup, did it surprise you? Did it bring you joy? I know there's really nothing to worry about, but did it worry you?
I guess to me, the biggest takeaway was like, okay, Savinho just took a small knock. It wasn't that big last week. We didn't have to freak out because I think there was an undercurrent amongst City fans is like, oh my God, we just saw this man play 45 minutes of football and he was on his A game. And now like, we're not going to be able to see him until Oscar gets back. And like, oh God, like what are we going to do on the wing? Oh my God. But it was just kind of like, okay, we're good. Like he just took a small knock. He just needed to, not be in the last 45 minutes, but he's good. And we saw how good he was in that particular match.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious, why y'all just waiting for each other? Somebody talk.
Man, we're a little rusty. The combinations aren't clicking. The rondos aren't rondoing. It's okay. We getting back. We getting back in swing of things. I would say like the lineup was great, and I enjoy the fact that I can see a lineup without Walker, Stones, Rodri, Foden, and be happy. Like that's crazy to think that these players breathe. Like they're not in the starting 11, and I don't expect anything less than dominance.
Wow.
To see consistency early this season, great. You love to have that. There's a certain level of comfort in knowing that you want to see certain players gel. Coming into the season, knowing that how critical of Rodri is to us, to not have him early on, to have consistency with Mateo, Enrico, and other levels of midfield, to build that now. We know how important that is when it comes to the butt cheek tight end of the season, which obviously we thrive. But players like Mateo, players like Rico, we'll see how pivotal they play a role then. So to see that level of consistency now and having that gelling warms my heart, man. I love everything that Rico provided in this game. I'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, I love the lineup, all comfort and confidence going into the match.
That's cool.
Yeah, without question. There was no, again, you're glad to see Savio back. We know that there's still a number of very integral pieces that aren't playing, but you still have a lot of confidence in the ones that are. And there's no fear. There's no like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We have more than enough in the lineup to see us pull out them 3 points. And so it was exciting, going into it. Although I will say, seeing I really wanted to see Issa Kabore, seeing him make the squad. It was like, okay, maybe we get a chance to see him, to see what he can do. I don't know that I expect him to be around when the window closes, but there's only 5 or 6 days. So if he does stay, we're going to probably see him get integrated at some point, even if it's just I don't care about cup.
So Pep was asked about Issa. If he has what it takes for the first team, and Pep goes, maybe. We'll see. I like what I'm seeing in practice. He has been
translated. That's alone.
Yeah.
It's good. It's okay. Peroni's at Como. Go play with them.
Yeah, go get consistent playing time. That's what it is. Like if you want to come out here and try to go against Rico and Walker, like you said, Carabao. And really, if we get a bad draw, no. Like it has to be truly like a EFL side, like lower than that. Like it has to be like respectively, like to give Issa a chance.
He can do. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was gonna say, I'm just saying he can do what Sergio Gomez did. I know no doubt about that in my head.
Yes.
So I mean, he'll get those. They're not big minutes. They're not really quality minutes, but they're minutes. I think he's a better player than just that. But I think, and we're gonna have more matches thanks to the new Champions League format. So I think if by chance he doesn't get a loan, there will be minutes for him because again, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but Rico is going to be our number 1 right back throughout the course of the season because that dude is incredible, which means Walker and then Issa after that.
Oh man, is Walker going to throw a Cancelo fit? Even though
no, because at this time next year he'll be somewhere else.
Is this what Kyle Walker has been making all these wild statements specifically for? Is this him like throwing a visual temper tantrum, like saying all the things that could potentially annoy people and get him sent out? Like
they don't play the same position, right? We know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying
because it's not competition.
I also think that like when we see Rodri back, that might be when we see Kyle Walker back on the pitch, just because Rodri's going to be able to cover that space that we need Rico and Kova to, or Rico and John Stones to cover. Like, if Rodri's back on the pitch, we might just see a regular flat back four.
It's a rotation. You know, we got everybody matters, guys. We all matter. We don't have to go over young. It's no beef. It's all love. It's all harmonious. That badge is the badge that matters.
I like that. And honestly, that statement holds up that with Rodri, it could be a back four, because when Pep was talking about who could play in that Rodri spot, he would be like, he's like, Mateo can play that position, and then he would say somebody else's name, and he'd be like, and they can play with somebody next to them. They can play with somebody next to them. Like, he was saying, like, Rodri can play that position by himself. There are other people who can play the Rodri position, but they will need somebody. So definitely holds up. Okay. All right. Oh man, this friggin' match. Tell me, stop when you've heard this before. Manchester City fell behind on their opponent's first counter, first attempt at goal. Yes, my boy Ederson has to do better. Pero, if you watch what happens after KDB loses the ball, I think it was KDB, Tractor Boy Hutchinson, I will be using the term Tractor Boy as much as possible in this, by the way. Tractor Boy Hutchinson immediately attacks, and really nobody is hustling down the pitch. I understand Liam Delap has Diaz and Akanji on both sides, and it's Ipswich Town. No sense of urgency at all from the players. The flood of City's goals 10 minutes later gives us reason to ignore a dark moment in the match. Not gonna, though. Yes, get at Ederson. However, I feel this goal was the team collectively eating the world's largest piece of silly steak. So it's just like, I feel like I'm the only one that really feels this way about it. I feel like all four of y'all are gonna be like,
oh, Rico 100% got. Like, that was his running into the box, and was it Samajits?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Like that was him ghosting in on him and like lost him completely. Never stepped with him, and by the time that he got the ball, like, Rico was already cut out by the pass. So I will, like, you know, when your back line and your goalkeeper both make, when there's like two of the three lines of defense make errors, like, that usually leads to a goal. And that's what happened on that particular action. Like, that led to a goal.
The problem that I had with it, and I guess it's an old classic defensive rule in basketball that applies for soccer as well, but stop the ball. They never stopped the ball. Amari Hutchinson was delayed, kind of put off path, but they never fully stopped him. He took it out to the right wing and continued on with his path. And from there, he made a nice drop off. From there, we saw Morrissey meet Smotis, who had, you know, that perfect run, like Tom said. So we didn't stop the ball, and that's a concern. But I mean, it's a good run. We've all been on that initial counter that teams like to have on us, and for some reason, it's an absolute glitched moment that we can't avoid somehow. Which
right?
It's I've just grown so numb to it, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we know how fast we can put up goals afterwards, so it seems okay at this point.
Was like no problem. Like, nobody was worried. It was so early. It was really nice seeing all the rivals laughing and celebrating, because we all know how this goes. That was basically what happened all of last season. I will admit I got a little high on the clean sheet last season, or last week, and I was hoping maybe we would last longer than 10 minutes without giving up a goal, but you know, it is what it is. We see how it happened. Sharpie, we know how you feel about giving up goals. So what was your thoughts when they sliced through our defense to take the lead?
I had a flashback immediately to last season early on when this same player didn't get back on defense. And I'm surprised none of you said his name. Doku didn't sprint at all.
Mm-hmm.
He literally jogged back. He was right beside Hutchinson, and Hutchinson just took off past him. There was no tactical foul. There was no like, I'm going to go close down. I'm going to just try to force him wide. Like, he was jogging the whole time, and before he turned up, it was too late. So yeah, like individual mistakes lead to goals. But I felt like it was something that was going to be like remedied. And for me as a bettor, I was like, well, I got over 2.5 goals. So City's definitely scoring 2 now. So we're good. See, I always find that silver lining.
Look at you, cup half full. And you're not, I didn't specifically say Daku because it was Vardiol, it was Rico, it was a few people. It was a team collectively jogging. And like even with Liam, they gave him like plenty of space. They could have like closed in and made it like awful for him. A lot of times defenders do for Halan. I don't know. It was, yes, it's very early in the match. It's very early in the season. We know how it happened, but also it felt very much like last season, and we got to be better. That's all. Tarik, are you here to tell me to relax?
Nah, I mean, everybody fans their own way. So, if you want to be stressed,
what is
be
going
stressed.
on right now?
If you want to be, concerned, be concerned. At the end of the day, if that had happened in the 70th minute, maybe I would have felt different.
Okay.
But it happened in the 10th minute, and I was like, we'll get it back. I was just confident we would get it back, and so there was no real sense of jeopardy from my perspective, because I knew we were going to come back and get it. Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, you're muted, my boy.
I was super light. Thank you. Is there a point where we have to start as supporters, fans, acting like the way our players do? Because we would never want our players to panic when a mistake happens, right? You would never want to see guys going at each other's throats and name calling on the pitch and going crazy. You just say, all right, line up, let's go get a goal back, right? Like that's the mindset they have. That's the mindset Pep has.
Well, but I think there was more than just let's just line. There was a definitive, clear sense of urgency after that goal happened. We scored so quickly.
Yeah.
So I want that, right? If we're gonna give up a goal, yeah, we can't freak out. We can't be, all out of sorts. But I want there to be some urgency and some passion, and let's go get that goal, and let's go get it now. So yes, I agree with you. But I need to, because again, I don't want it to be, oh, well, we got 70 minutes left, or 80 minutes left. We'll get one eventually. Yeah, we will. We'll go get it right now. Let's go get it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want me like having us talk about this, make it seem like I'm like poo-pooing on it and everything. But on the other end, I don't want us to be so like calm on it. People already think we're like spoiled and entitled and everything. So if I just go, man, whatever, we just ran it up on them right after. Yeah, we did that. We're gonna have plenty of time to like laugh and kiki about the success. So I guess when we mess up, I feel like we need to recognize that a little bit, because it doesn't happen too often. Am I right? Am I right? Oh man, you need some storms before you can get a rainbow, right? So City, not even a minute after, Savio taken down by Davis in the box, originally given as a goal kick, but VAR did its job. Telling the referee to check the replay, penalty given. Holland steps up and does what Haaland does, smashes it into a corner where nobody can get it. 1-1 City. And like I said, I would like for us to sit and enjoy each goal, because they represent different ways the club can disturb and turn a match on its head. It's all things we know, but with slight tweaks are having these things early in the season. It's so amazing. So like after City gave up the goal, disastrous things, Savio went, watch this, he successfully manufactured a penalty. Like, that's crazy. He was on the outside, stepped in, and actually got taken out. Like, the guy put the leg out. It was the craziest thing. It was just like, let him dribble out of bounds. What are you doing, my guy? I'm not complaining, but it was in the first 2 minutes. Daku sent the ball in, and that could have been put in by Holland, but he was taken down. Daku and Savio, they give us flashbacks to Sane and Sterling. Sure. Savio is a Mahrez regen. Okay. My challenge for the fan base is to learn what specifically we enjoy about what they do and why we love it. Comparison is the thief of joy, and we shouldn't be taking anything away from the greatness that is and will be Daku and Savio. Back to the match. Savio, penalty, Haaland, conversion. How are we feeling after the match is tied up?
It almost like, I think to Charlie's point about how, like, okay, we're not gonna panic. We're like, that was the point at which Savio, he took the vegetables that he had cut up. He had taken the sausage that he had that he had cut up, and he brought that to the stove, and he turned the fire on that cast iron skillet, and he got to cooking. I mean, just cooking. And you saw it like just kind of escalate throughout the match. And I get that man scored 3 goals. It's a hat trick. You got to give him player of the match, all of that. Savio was the most influential player in a City shirt in that match. And like, you don't win that match without the performance that Savio gave. Just that is what it is. I think that at that point you just kind of saw him like, yeah, this Davis dude, he is food. I tell you, food.
Yeah, man.
So at that point it was just like, okay, he's about to make this Davis dude's a day very, very, very long.
Let's go.
To reinforce T's point, one of the things that I think we can take away as City fans early on in this game, Ipswich scored in the 7th. Holland's pen was in the 12th. Obviously, there's a lot more goals early on coming, but regardless, in the first 13 minutes, 2 goals. In all of those 13 minutes, it's very, very confident to say that Man City were really pushing, getting more of the aggression out of it and really looking to score. So confidence in that. But in regards to Savio, it is pure joy to see him pull out some of those beautiful moves early on in his City career. He chose to go in and out a few times. He chose to do a few moves towards the end later in the second and right before he got pulled out. But I really, really liked what I saw out of Savio. Tom's exactly right. I thought he was very influential. I'd be remiss without pointing out moving forward in this game. I thought it was a well refereed game, other than a few bad fouls in the latter part of the match. We spend a lot of time as fans nowadays talking about refs and the shit that they are and the problems and all of the issues going back and forth with VAR and stuff like that. Sam Allison was the ref that ref that game and was tremendous. Had a chance to come on, and he was a late add-on. Michael Salisbury, something happened to him. I don't know. I hope he's okay. But Sam Allison did a tremendous job refereeing that game. And I thought the tempo, the control, when a fan says that comment and alludes to a ref having a great game, it means he wasn't really a part of the fucking game. He wasn't really an impact of any kind. And to know that that was the case, there was a lot of fluidity towards that. I was a big fan of it. But yeah, Savio, wow. I am in love with what I'm seeing so far.
And shout out to you for that Allison bit. You beat me to it, all of it. Literally about that he was a step in. He was just a fourth official. Look at you taking work off my shoulders. Appreciate you, Lando. Let's go. Sharpie?
I just want to say, like, it's beautiful now. Think about where this podcast was when we started in 2022, that we used to be concerned about penalties. And now I just expect Erling Haaland to score. Like, it's so relaxing. I was like, okay, it's a goal. We're even. No worries.
And yeah, it's just
those were not the good old days. Those were old days, but they were not the good old days. It was stressful. We had no confidence when someone was going up to the penalty spot because we knew that there was maybe not just as much of a chance they would miss as they would make it, but it was pretty close. And to your point, now when Haaland gets up there, you pretty much have no question in your mind that he's going to put it in. And I just like the old school way that he takes it. Ain't none of that tippy toe tap dance and stuff. He just gets up there, runs up there hard, blasts the ball, and dares you to stop it. And so it's pretty cool to see. I'm definitely with Lando and pretty much everybody on Savio, seeing him do his thing. It is. This is probably unfair, but it was a little disappointing to see Oscar Bob go out. And then, okay, now we get the chance to see Savio, and he's thrived in this role. I was expecting, hoping to see Oscar Bob do his thing. Now we got to wait for him to come back from injury. Hope that he comes back at the same level that he was, but it's good to know that we have another player out there that can do work, even if Oscar Bob's not available.
And Bob doesn't have to rush back. That is actually the most exciting part.
But I think he does.
Well,
not because the team needs him to rush back. We don't need him to rush back. But I think he was playing so well that you don't want to get lost. Because again, I genuinely believe that's what happened to Cole Palmer. And again, I'm not going to focus on that dude, but he was playing well, got injured, never got a chance to take advantage of that opportunity, of that quote unquote purple patch that he was in. And then by the time he got a chance to play again, he was just, he was okay, but he wasn't enough to overthrow someone else in that role. I think he will need to get back and show that he is the player that we saw in preseason, because that player is just as threatening as what we've seen Savio be. And so we need that second option over there.
Okay. Second goal. Goal 2 is a powerful team press led by the forward line, including Holland. Savio closes in on an ex-Man City player, Muric. It's just so fun. Every team we play, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. He gets caught dawdling on the ball. KDB snatched the shot from Holland, scoring. Etihad is on fire. Limbs. I had just hit send on a tweet about Holland's penalty kick. But I was basically just like running around my living room, having the best time. We finally got the lead. What I want to focus on this goal, it's obvious, is the press. That was a weakness last season. That I feel like that's what the reason why they were able to score that first goal. Like, Daku wasn't pressing. Rico kind of, once he got down to the end of the pitch, he was just like, I did my part, not really looking at the guy right behind him. That press, if we're able to shut it down immediately, they're not able to really catch us on the counter. Holland's foot troubled him all last season. Pep talked about it post-match, actually. You need every player to participate in the team press. It's called the team press. Holland missing out on the Euros gave him time to rest his body. He had to watch the world's best play without him. I know that pissed him off. Holland rested and wanting retribution. Deadly combo. So the acceleration and speed of Daku and Savio, the ability to close down on an opposing player quickly. It really could become, and this is me looking way in the future, it'd be our trump card for beating Los Negros El Blanco. What are your thoughts on the goal?
It absolutely fired me the fuck up to see a young guy in Savio who's barely had an opportunity to settle into the locker room, but understand what is fucking needed and demanded from you as a work rate when you do not have the ball. The typical ignorant fan that looks at soccer and looks at the Brazilians, looks at them as prima donnas and folks that want to just do shit on the ball, which we all know they're tremendous at. But just in saying this out loud, I want to run through a wall right now, because in seeing him do it, it was remarkable to note the mentality, the go after the dog early, trying to show himself and show his worth in a City kit. It just, I loved every bit of it. I also want to note, while yes, you're noting Haaland's help with the pressure as well, that's great. I would like to note his unselfishness. He could have easily tried to go ahead and take that shot, which was at a tougher angle, but knowing and feeling Kevin's presence coming onto the ball and the direction that Kevin's coming in with shooting it, it's clearly the right move to let Haaland have it, or let Kevin have it. So shout out to the Viking for that. And then our king Kevin, with a nice, beautiful finish, being there, knowing what's reading and reading the whole situation. Beautiful matches Thierry Henry with outside the box goals. Just think about that for a moment. It's just crazy, because we all know how wonderful Henry was with Arsenal. It just blows my mind on how great Kevin De Bruyne is. So yeah, beautiful team goal, beautiful team situation. I was eating that up, boys.
Let's go.
I will also add that we talked about Brazilians. You brought him up, Lando. The Brazilian he reminded me of was Gabriel Jesus. That's how Gabby presses. So if you take like the offensive ability of Amares and that type of technical skill, and then you match that dog that you have on the press from a Gabby Jesus, damn it, we got a fucking gem. We got him, Joe. We did it. We did
it. We did it, Joe. Yeah. Lando was spot on about the unselfishness of Haaland to like let Kevin, who had the better angle on the shot, take the shot. Like I think that was my first like he gave the guy with the better angle on the shot to take the shot. And two, like it's something about KDB scoring goals outside the box. It just kind of makes, like, as a City fan, like, oh, all is right with the world again. Like, it's, like, I don't think that, like, maybe he scored like 2 last season outside the box, like, and that was just because like he was on like a limited play count because he was hurt. But just to see him like be able to score that goal outside the box, I was like, okay, he's back. Like we're good.
Let's go. Okay, so the third goal in 6 minutes for Manchester City, bringing it up from the back. City go left quickly. Ederson, Vardiol, KDB, who takes a touch, a bit of pause, enough time to see the Nordic meat shield streaking down the pitch. Kevin gives a wry smile and pings the ball across to Haaland in between 2 defenders behind him now and a keeper coming up ahead of him. Haaland has the ball past the keeper and just slots it in way too easy, even though every part of that was like only the top echelon of footballers can make that pass that KDB did and can head the ball on and slot it in from that obtuse angle. Just with a little like hop, just a little boop. It's nice. Wow. I love this club. That's literally what I said when that happened. I stood up, threw my phone. I didn't care what happened to it. I just threw my phone and went, I love this club. It was fantastic. I love them so much. Thom Bomb.
So when I saw this goal, I kept thinking, like, I've seen this goal before. And I'm trying to figure out where I've seen this goal before. So because I've been watching a lot of Kansas City current matches, they are also play like nominally 4 at the back, but have one of their attackers, instead of inverting into the midfield, they have her pushed up way higher. So that leaves space for a midfielder to drop into that left back role. And so in this case, for Kansas City Current, it's been Lola Bonta that's been dropping into that role. And then she would ping a ball up top to Timwa Chawinga, who has a decided speed advantage on the center backs that she's playing against, much like Erling Haaland does. And like I've seen that exact same goal before from a midfielder dropping onto the back line, pinging it a route one ball to the striker who's just faster than the center backs. So I was like, that was really, to me, that was just a great collision of two worlds for me, like being able to see like, oh, I've seen this goal before. Where have I seen this goal? I've seen this goal here.
And if you watch sorry, Lando, before you get going, if you watch the replay, if you pause it before Halan, like right before KDB makes the pass, Halan is an easy 3-4 strides behind the defenders. It's insane. The just, woohoo, man. Oh, Lando.
Well, it's a tactical thing. When I saw this play in particular, I noted that this is something that Pep uses. I have to go back to the basketball analogy, but when you're facing a 1-3-1, one of the things that sometimes you like to do is attack the bottom on the 1-3-1, which is typically a point guard, a smaller guard that's having to go baseline to baseline, chasing down that short corner three or that short corner little, post push shot essentially. But with attacking that 1-3-1, what you want to essentially do is have a runner that's going corner to corner and trying to be a release point to see if you can find something more middle, right? We all know zones or something you try to break from the middle out sometimes, but I found it incredible that Pep was wanting to do that with Kevin, essentially going sideline to sideline, being that valve opener that the moment you find him, he's in that middle spot into your point, Crunk. It's so tactical because Erling knows he gets it there. Oh, I'm making this run. The presence of Erling brought Haaland to have his first touch on that ball be with his head to just get it past the keeper, for me is just a pure joy, because that's instinct. That's playing the game so much and having that happen so much that you just know guy on your ass can't beat you. Keeper coming, he's about to be butt cheek spread. All I have to do is go ahead and just make this play right with my dome right here, just a little bit. And then the touch, the finish. I mean, chef's kiss, Bordeaux and Bordeaux, just beautiful, 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 exquisite taste. I'm so thankful for our Viking.
They always tell us what he cannot do, and he just keeps finding ways to show us that he can do it. They say he doesn't have any touch, he can't get involved in the build-up, he can't hold the ball up, yada, yada, boom, boom, right? This man received the ball with about 3 players around him. Like you said, perfect touch with his forehead to play the ball into space, used his physicality to get beyond, and then used his amazing striking ability to put the ball in from an angle that, quite honestly, in the moment, I thought maybe it had gone because it was so tight of an angle. He is the world's best goal scorer, but he's a much better player. He's a much better footballer than than others have given him credit for. And I think as he continues to play under Pep, you are seeing him grow and develop and become even more well-rounded of a player. And that is an amazing thing to see, because he is already the best in the world at putting the ball in the back of the net. As he continues to develop, it's lights out, game over, shut it down, everybody go home. It's a wrap.
Let's go, damn it. Let's go. Okay, so Rico Lewis and KDB hit the goalpost. Haaland had a thunderous header stopped. We had a few shots where...
Wait, stop, because I don't know who, like, that the groundskeeper at the Etihad, they got to replace that shit, because, like, it just, like...
It's jinx.
It's jinx. Like, you don't hit the underside of the crossbar twice and nothing no. Like, especially, like, as good as the shots were, like, well, I will say, like, on Rico's shot, Rico was probably a little bit too high.
Yeah, he needed to calm down a little bit. He was trying to trying to destroy the ball. He was like, "Look, nobody is stopping this. I'm gonna kick it as hard as I can, and to keep somebody from stopping it. But in that moment, I just needed a little bit more finesse. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we won the game. We won it going away, so it all's well. It ends well. But yeah, we would expect Rico to score that goal, and Doku would be received in a different light if he scores that goal, because of course everybody wants to kill Doku because he doesn't do this, doesn't do that. But that was a clear assist that would have been in his tally. But we won't kill Rico.
No, not at all.
2 points about that. The leave, I believe, was Holland left it. He knew Rico was behind him, right? So again, that's another example of him being unselfish. When you're ready for a hat trick, like you try to go at everything. He's like, no, my guy's here. Second part of that, Kev is shooting from outside the box again, and it makes me so happy.
Yes.
Like, I don't care if he misses all of them, but the fear it puts in people because it just draws defenders out. Like anytime he gets around the D, Paul, you like gotta respect it. And there's really no other way to say that. Okay, let's go back. Anytime he gets around the outside of the 18 curved area,
it's called the D. I mean, you said it right. It's what it's called. It's called the D.
Sometimes
you can't get mad at you for calling it what it's called.
Hey, it's the D out of the box. But yes, I saw that early against Chelsea. I saw it early in this match. That the move on that ball, that thing was dipping, and like I thought it was going to go in because the keeper had no chance. Mirich was done. So that gives me hope that like, okay, if he keeps shooting, and now we'll get to the end of the match. I won't steal your thunder, Crunk, but man, it's a beautiful thing to see.
Still my thunder.
Those are fun.
Still my thunder, my friend. So I remember a specific season. I had to like look back on it real quick. The 21-22 season was Manchester City led the league in hitting the woodwork 24 times. The next team was Arsenal with 18. And so like when that happened in one match, I felt like we were back in that season for like 2 seconds. I was just like, wait, what? This feels weird. Are we back? And I'm just like, yes, I know this feels oddly familiar. But yes, the fourth goal, the citizens inside the Etihad, the Man City players on the pitch deserved the fourth goal. And goddamn it, Erling Haaland brought us the fourth. Well, honestly, it was like Rico Lewis brought us the fourth. But then Haaland showed his killer striker status, smashing the ball, spliced between sad and sleepy tractor boys, making the score 4-1. So we out here.
Erling Haaland can still say the best.
You know how you get lawnmowers or the ride, like the ones that are you can ride in, and one of the things that they really try to sell you is like this 0 turn radius that they have so you can get every angle. Go back and watch Erling Haaland's hips and see how that motherfucker turned like he was doing merengue to be able to get his fucking hips right to get that shot off. Like that, it went in and he fired it, and I was like, how do you even develop the firepower for the fucking shot? And the way that he turned, like, I was truly blown away to that. I also thought about Crunk several times. We had goalposts get hit because Crunk was the only one so far that was ballsy to be out here and be like, field goal, we're getting 6. And I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy. We sure as hell could have fucking gotten 6 if it wasn't for that fucking post and Rico Lewis just trying to dunk on folks. Like, that's kind of wild. Crunk, you were really close to being right.
I wanted it so bad with my soul.
One of the wildest things about with that last goal is that man is 6'5". And it's no surprise to us when some players 5'7", 5'9", maybe a 6-footer, 6'1" guy can turn and get the motion so quick and like gain power. But like to do that in an instant, and that's why he scored, because the keeper didn't have time to get ready for it. There was no way he thought he was going to get it off because it didn't look like he had a chance. And like it makes me think of like the only other tall striker that's as not near, like this striker isn't as athletic as Haaland, but he was a great athlete, is Zlatan.
Yeah.
Like Zlatan was 6'5" and like could do that type of stuff. Because like even a player like Giroud, right? Giroud has never been that nimble or that agile. and the hips, his hips do lie. So like it's beautiful to see Earl like score every type of goal. I think in the first 2 matches. I know he's got left, he's got inside the box, he's got pin. He's missing a header. It's time to dunk on some people, but like he's the best striker in the world, and it's so great to have him on our side.
And Ibrahimovic's fairness, I have seen him do things that I don't think Holland quite do yet. In his prime, Ibrahimovic, when he was at Ajax, that man was a demon on the ball. I mean, demon, fake shot and croquetas, like he was nasty. So, in fairness to him, I will say that I cannot get off this game without noting the substitution of Jack Grealish and the denial that he played and getting a shot on goal for Ipswich. Ipswich was held to 1 shot on goal. Jack Grealish came back and defended a particular play and got into the box and went out of his way to essentially get a clearance, disrupt it, and make a run the opposite way. You talk about champions and you talk about winning mentality. That right there is exactly why we are going to be going for a drive for 5, because quite frankly, the game's fucking over. No one gives a shit. Everyone's ready to go home. We slapped who we thought we were going to slap, and it's done. And here comes Gucci Jack Puma Grealish doing his fucking thing and stopping a goal. Now, will that play something in the goal difference? I don't know. As someone coming off of not being picked up from an English international and having a summer in which people are questioning his ability and his role, does that affect him mentally? I don't know.
And commitment.
Thank you. And also now being a father and growing up, and what did that become? And what does that look like from going out all the weekends and having a couple brewskis with your boys? I just want to note that these are details of championship mentality, of winners, and signs of things that are just positive that we don't really want to point out. We want to point out the negative shit. Let's point out the positive shit. He had no business getting involved in that, but he did the defensive work needed to stop a fucking pointless goal. That wins fucking titles. I see you, Jack Grealish. I see you, baby boy. I love it. I'm here for it. Your time and your performance and how critical you will be this season, it's coming, Papa. Mark my fucking words. The football gods reward those that do shit like that. You give it all for the fucking badge, and I love you for it, Papa.
And I'll actually double down with it. There was the photo of him looking at Gundo that everyone was memeing.
That was funny as fuck.
Some of the people like making it be like, he's drunk, he doesn't know what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Like, we need to truly move past this, especially because Mans is trying his hardest to get, like, do we support the club or not? Like that, and like do you think that was like just in jest though? I mean, like, we know he was serious. When do we know when we're joking? It's just like the joke's got to end. And like, again, like I feel like Lando is purposely always trying to point out that he's a new dad. Like, he's trying to give him the grace to be like, look, this man is refocused. He's tapped in. People are giving Phil Foden that love and the credence, being like, hey, he has a new kid now, so he's going to be locked in. He's going to be doing great things. Why are we not giving Grealish the same love, support, empathy? Like, if he looks awful in that photo, tired in that photo, confused in that photo, it's probably because his baby is keeping him up. Like, bro, like, why does it have to be party? I don't know. It's kicking a dead horse. I don't know. Like, how come on? I hear you, but that's the thing. But I don't know. No, I hear you, but I mean, we're not gonna act like we didn't watch that man drink every drink under the sun, stand up on the back of the bus and doing all, So I mean, he was having a good time, and I think people are just like, like what, hey, 2 weeks, and then it was like the rest of the summer we didn't see or hear 2 months, but okay. It was not 2 months. I'm just saying, man.
He went on a summer tour.
He was good for a while. He was feeling real nice for a while, but it doesn't matter because, again, I think it's jokes, man. I just think that you've seen this man, and so it's like we know he has that in his locker. So let's make a joke about it. Now, again, maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. I didn't, but others did. But I just took it as all just jokes, and it's whatever. Now, I think for his sake, he probably would want that because again, he's trying to work his way back into that lineup consistently. And I don't think any of those comments weigh on Pep at all. But yeah.
Yes, but I do think it weighs on him. How can he not? I know he sees all this stuff. He seems like one of the type of dudes who like truly cares about how people think and feel about him. Unfortunately, I think, yeah, and I don't know. It's just I'm over it. We need to refresh the drunk Grealish joke. Like we need to add some more pizzazz in it because y'all are just I don't know. It's not funny anymore. It's just the same thing. Grealish is a drunk. Okay,
I do want to talk about a sub that did frighten me, and more so from the fact that the player that was subbed out was Kova, and he was hurt. He was hurt. He went down twice, 3 times. And I don't know if Rodri is ready. And I think the intent is we don't want to Pep probably does not want to play Rodri until the other side of this international break. So that kind of scares me. And do we really? If
only we would have signed a German international for free. Maybe knows our system and can kind of.
Well, see that's what I'm saying. Even as you're saying that, Tom, I'm literally just thinking, all right, well, Gundo didn't start. Now Gundo starts. And Bernardo's right there. And we fucking move. Or if you want to get fun with it, I don't know, Phil starts. You drop Kev back. We have so many options to cover. And that's the thing. That's why the depth is so great, right? We have a perfect roster because there's so many interchangeable parts. Maybe you start John Stones in that role, right? And he gave us 40 minutes. Maybe he's ready to give 60. It's just Pep is going to have that thing, and we're going to look at the stats at the end of the season and say, wait, certain players only play 30 Premier League games. Why? Oh, because you can't play every match. You don't need to. You don't need to play 37, 36 matches. We can rotate, and that's when we were at our best with the treble. Is we could get everybody in the right positions in the right matches. Maybe you come on in a sub the week before a big Champions League match for the Premier League. Maybe you sit for Leagues Cup because we know we got to play Liverpool, on the weekend. I love the way that this roster is built. Credit to Cheeky, credit to Pep, because again, none of us saw Gundo coming back a month ago, but because he's here now, those questions and those rightful questions from Big J journalist Tom are accurate.
And it's great to ask that. I do want to note that I have certain sources that are telling me in particular that he's actually going to be okay, that he's doing A-okay. And he's going to be training this week. So we'll see. I don't know. My sources tell me good things. So I don't know. Keep a lookout for it.
It really looked like a contusion more than anything. It looked like he just got hit in the thigh and he couldn't knock it.
Couldn't get it like a dead leg or something like that.
Yeah.
He said it.
Hopefully it's a Savio situation.
Yeah, it's nothing too serious. He didn't seem too worried about it. Okay, so fun fact: all 7 of Haaland's hat tricks have happened at the Etihad Stadium. The only player with more hat tricks, 100% at one venue, we're saying his name again, Thierry Henry, with 8 at Highbury. So let's just keep it moving. Tom, Tarik, I'd like to get y'all's. How do you see the Premier League? How's it going to finish? Top 6, and then who's getting relegated? We all basically said 3 up, 3 down with the relegation.
Let's see. Let me peruse the table real quick. I think Leicester's staying up. I think Leicester's staying up because as much as it pains me to say this, and I'm sorry, John Stones, but Everton's going down this season. There's just too many factors working against them for them to stay up.
Tom, do we want to? I want to give you pause there because there is going to be some type of points deduction coming their way. Do you want to count that in your? That's even with the points deduction. They still play enough. Because people are saying
Leicester might get. Leicester
and Everton rumored to be losing points.
Yeah, so I still think that they'll find a way to to do that.
That's impressive, then.
I
feel
called
like
Everton to go down last season. I think I was a season too soon. I'm with Tom. They could go down easy.
Ipswich Town, they're definitely going back down. Who else came up with them? Southampton? No, they were in the league last year, right?
It was Leicester.
Yeah, Southampton's the
Ipswich.
third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Southampton. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Southampton, but like it's hard because I feel like in a lot of ways, like going down to the South Coast for us, especially to play that team, is always difficult for us. Like way more difficult than it should be. So that might just be kind of coloring my expectations of it, but I do think that they'll probably go back down. And then as far as the league, we win the league, just because I like seeing our rivals be in bad spots. I'm going to say that we beat Arsenal on goal difference on the last day. I got Liverpool in third. I'm going to shout out Spurs in fourth to get that last Champions League spot. And then I got Newcastle and West Ham United in some order, 5 or 6.
Yeah. After this week, I'm really worried about Aston Villa. I think this loss, I know it's the beginning of the season, but it was just something about that loss. They
ain't look right. They don't look right.
Their spirit like broke partially through that match. It was scary. Tarik?
So I think we will win. I think Arsenal will be second. I don't think it will be as close as it has been. Maybe that's just for my own personal heart's sake. Because whatever,
run it out.
I'm at that age where it's not healthy for me to have my heart racing like that. So I need City to do me a favor and wrap this up by beginning of April. That'd be great. I appreciate it. But no, I think City win it, of course. I think Arsenal are probably second. It's hard to say this early. Yes, Liverpool have won both of their matches, but I don't know who they've played. But let's say
different
that
ball up there right now, T. There's
What's
a
up?
different style of ball happening up there with Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're too comfy with it yet.
Oh, they're very comfy. They just had the highest percentage completed. 92% passes complete. They cut them niggas up.
They look
yesterday.
great.
Or today. They are so fucking good. It's real.
Yeah, but
they're back.
Who did they play today? They played Brentford.
Brentford,
and Brentford, I think, is not with. Doesn't have what's his name? Tony. I don't know that I put a whole lot of, and then they beat Ipswich 2-0. So they won both their games 2-0. And again, you can only beat the people in front of you, right? So they got 2 up, 2 down. But I don't know long term because again, new managers into the Premier League. It's an adjustment. We'll see what they do, but they might get third just because nobody else wants to do anything. I actually think. I don't, I guess, let me tell you who's not going to be there. This would be easier. United is not going to be there. United's not going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
I think Chelsea is going to get top 6. I don't know where they're going to land in there. They're going to get top 6 because I just think they just have too many good players. If they stay healthy, I think they just have to be able to get it together at some point. So I'm gonna go City, Arsenal. I'll go Liverpool. It's hard to say. Let's go Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea. I think that's 6. We'll go that. As far as going down, I think Everton goes down, but I'll say Everton, Leicester, especially if they're going to get a deduction in Southampton, which means Ipswich stays up. I know we battered them, but I don't know that they're very physical. Their press is nice. And I don't know that lesser teams will be able to handle that. I think they'll be able to get some points against some of these lesser teams. And, you know, so I'm going to say Ipswich stays up. What did y'all think about Liam Delap? Obviously, City Academy player. Dude was super physical. He looked a threat. I think he'll get decent amount of goals if he can get service for them. You know, I'm always hesitant and nervous when other former City players come back, and that was a moment where I was like, it'll be just our luck. This dude's gonna just basically barge the house down because he's just physically imposing.
He wanted it too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he had a point to prove. And it was one of those things where it would have been great to have him as a Holland alternative, you know, because again, you can play the same style. But the reality is he needs more minutes than he would ever get behind Holland. So he had to go. But someone of his profile as a backup would be like insane. Because again, even when Holland is out, we don't have to change up how we play. Still just physically imposing, still relatively quick. And having been a City player for many years, knows that style. So I think that would have been great. Obviously, it's not the reality that we live in, but it would have been cool to see.
We know it's never a good accurate metric for strikers against us with how ball dominant we try to be. 83 minutes played, only 7 out of 10 inaccurate passes, 0 shots, 0 chances created. He had a total of 25 touches, and 3 of them were in our box. Guy didn't do much of anything. He lost 11 duels. He was aggressive. 4 fouls committed.
He was up there by himself a lot. Because again, they needed an outlet, they needed an out ball to be able to play, and I thought he did decent of being able to hold up, play, bring his teammates in. But I think to your point where you were headed, Lando, was with the number of fouls that he got because he was just so aggressive in that press that they were trying to do, and on another day he probably could have. I don't know if he ended up ever getting a yellow card, but he probably deserved one. But like I said, I think against lesser teams, when they can actually see some of the ball, I think they'll be a threat for other teams.
I agree.
Well, I also think that like Samaj he led their team in scoring last season, right? When they were in the championship. Like I'm not sure. I think
it was the beyond outside of Holland, he had the most goals in all of England or something like that.
Right. So I just feel like that squad is not necessarily set up for Delap to score a lot of goals. He might be a focal point of how they build the attack, but he's not necessarily going to score. So I don't think that necessarily gives me a whole lot of pause.
Oh yeah, especially in the Premier League. They're going to have to grind for every goal they're going to get. But what they do have for them is they go for it. And that's the best chance you're going to get. You can't sit behind and put 10 people back for 90 minutes and expect to survive this league. You have to try to swing at other teams.
Or they'll end up like Burnley under Vinny. They'll play decent football, but they will lose a bunch of matches because they won't be able to defend. One of the two, I don't know.
They don't feel as like brash as Company's team, or maybe like
they seem more adaptable than the way that they, because I mean I think Crunk, you even said it in the pre-match show, like, you know, yes, they do want to come out and press, and like they will make some tactical tweaks. It's like, okay, we're not going to press City for 90 minutes like at the Etihad. That doesn't spell out success.
I mean, there's a reason we went like 70 minutes without a goal. Like they did, like they switched tactics at halftime, and like Kieran McKenna's not stupid. Like they weren't just gonna play 4 up top and go at us and lose 9-2 because he knows goal difference matters, and he also knows that like Everton's gonna sell goals too. So I like the way they set up. I think they have more mature players than Burnley did because the thing that hurt Burnley is that they lost so much talent. All their lone players had to go back. Versus like Ipswich has like strengthened. Like we couldn't even see Calvin Phillips on the pitch, right? Because he's a loanee. So like you add in just veteran talent, like it's going to be a really competitive. There are going to be like 5 teams, like always, but it's going to be interesting to see who can nick points off each other. Like those derbies are going to be crazy because you want to win. They're going to go for wins against each other to get those 3 points versus 1. So should be interesting for the chumps.
Okay. Well, I don't want to keep us actually past 90, so we can talk about improved players and all that other stuff. Let's get to the West Ham match. This Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be bringing on Big Phil, West Ham supporter. We've had him on many a times. He is the homie. Shout out to them. I will be seeing him next month. I'm going to the Premier League next Premier League in the USA event in Chicago. So I'll be there. I'll be seeing a few of the friends and family down in Chicago. West Ham, though, I don't know. They look good, but also they look like they can get got, which is good for us in that stadium. I know why I finally understand why they hate that stadium, because like obviously it could just be mic placement and stuff like that, but it does not feel like a vibe in that stadium at all. So score predictions, how we feel like this match is going to go.
Hey, before we do that Premier League fan fest or whatever they call it, I don't know. That's the week we play Arsenal. Ooh.
I know.
I don't know if I could be around other people when we play that match.
No,
I need to be alone.
I'm doing it. I specifically signed up for the Sunday. I was like, nope, I don't want to do Saturday. Even though I probably should have did the Saturday so that I could go back and watch the match at home. But I'm living and or dying in mad public, surrounded by tons of people. I'm gonna do it for the concert.
You asked thoughts on this West Ham match. I think so. West Ham have a match on Wednesday, and then we play them on Saturday, I think it is. So I genuinely think I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0.
I thought you were going to say we were going to run it up, not the opposite.
No, I think it'll still be close, but I almost said 3-1 just for Sharpie, but I'm gonna go 2-0. Actually, I think they probably might score, but let's go 3-1 because I think they might score.
I think we're gonna find out a lot about Lopetegui as a manager and like what he deems as important. Like, is he actually gonna care about this cup on Wednesday? Like, and we will see that based off of whatever lineup he selects on Wednesday against Bournemouth, because that match is at home. So I think that I have a feel. If I were in Lopetegui's shoes, I probably would throw out a weaker lineup with lots of subs available on the bench. But I would probably start my first choice lineup on Saturday against us at home. That stated, I don't think that it really matters. I got us 3-0 at London Stadium.
That's cool.
I foresee Phil getting back in the lineup. I think because he probably was going to start, but it was illness, which means we might see Kev rest. which is fine with me. Because we know Phil is a center attacking midfielder. I do not want to see that man on the wing unless there are injuries afoot. But hey, Pep's gonna do what he wants. No, I think we win 2-0. I don't think we go crazy. I don't think Pep is trying to run it up and we get caught out. Because I looked at their stats and like they had more possession in the first match when they lost to Villa 2-1, and then they countered Palace to death. Like Palace had like 58% possession, and West Ham still got off 18 shots. So it's gonna be. I think Pep's gonna treat his countryman Lopetegui with respect and a tidy 2-0 win.
I'm going 3-1 City. I foresee a goal by Mohamed Kudus. I think they will score first.
He's been killing it.
I am very, very confident of getting a double wing dose of goal contribution. I think Doku and Savio get on the board for us, and Erling Haaland gets another goal. So I got Doku, Savio, and Haaland scoring. Yeah, Mohamed Kudus is just too damn good. I really rate that guy. Really, really, really rate him. Yeah, I go 3-1 City over West Ham.
Kudus is doing everything he can to make sure that he is not at West Ham next season.
Depending on how their season goes, it could be that he's not at West Ham in February of 2025. So,
I mean, Chelsea got 6 more days. Calm down, boys.
Actually, and I know that we're running short on time, but shout out to Enzo Madueke for Chelsea for standing on big business, because anytime that you just shit on an entire town and just tell it to say that it is awful, like, you better play your ass off, and that young man played his ass off.
Right. If y'all wanted to prove that this place wasn't shit, beat me, and you didn't. And even like the admin from Who Scored must be from the area or live near the area, because they shot at Madueke. They were like, he was dispossessed the most times on Chelsea. The next person was whatever. And best believe I quote tweeted that after Madueke's second and third goal. I was just like, huh? Now? What you got to say now, huh?
One more thing about Chelsea, right? Like, shouts to Enzo, because the way he's handled it, he stood on business. The manager, he's like, look, you're not my type of player, Raheem Sterling. You're not my type of player, Ben Chilwell. Bye, Conor Gallagher. Like, I know what I want. I have a vision. He might be the first manager under this ownership group to say, like, I know exactly what I want. And we look at it from the outside. I was like, wait, they got all these players. He was like, no, I'm training with 21. That's what y'all to think about. I don't care about these niggas. That's basically what he said. These niggas don't matter to me.
Yeah, like, truly, I don't know these.
At number 7, Raheem Sterling, that's going to Pedro Neto. He's my type of winger. Like, and you got to like a manager that knows what he wants. And you saw what they did today. Them boys can cook. So that's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, sorry, I didn't give the score prediction either. I think 4-0. Nope, they're scoring. They're definitely scoring. There's definitely scoring. Okay, 3-1. I'm 10 minutes. 3-1. Yeah. I was like, wait, they're not home. But I feel like all the home games this season are gonna be a fucking vibe. Okay.
No, they are home. It's at West Ham Stadium.
Oh, well, I meant at City.
Our homes.
At
oh yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get out of here. Make sure to follow us at Shades of Blue NW. We have an amazing Breaking Bread this weekend during international break. I will be having lots of shows for you. Hopefully, I'm slowly but surely getting back into my bag. I felt like we were doing so many shows last season at the end of the season, so we're gonna get there. It's early season. We're relaxing. But yeah, pay attention, follow us, Shades of Blue NW. So many social media apps. Just pull up an app, type it in, will probably pop up. My fantastic show bros. Tarik, let's get you talking, and then you're done for the rest of the show. Let people know where they can follow you.
So you can go to Twitter at Tarik Peterson, TarikPeterson. Yeah, just do that. Leave it there for now.
Let's go.
If there's a social media app that I am on, you can find me at Thom Bomb 816. Also, shout out to the fine folks over to Shea Butter FC for putting your boy on. If you ever want some Kansas City Current content, I'm there for that too.
Shea siblings.
Find me on X at Sharpie Charlie. Just a note to everyone: please go make sure you get out and register to vote. We are at 72 days as of recording until the election. Early voting starts in a lot of states in September into early October. Don't let this country fall back into the hands of a demagogue.
Yes, sir.
At Shades of Blue NW, at Shades of Blue NW on all socials. Get at us, like, comment, subscribe, let us know your thoughts, and get out there and vote. Registered about a month ago. Thank you, Charlie, for that. Love to go ahead and push that forward. Get involved. Don't bitch about shit if you ain't doing nothing about it.
There we go.
So Obama said, "Don't boo, vote."
Vote.
Well, you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.